Hi everybody, Matt back with you. Today I'm at a place called Summit. It sits between Littleborough and Todmorden and is famous for what is just behind me here. Summit Tunnel is between Littleborough and Todmorden and is one of the world's oldest railway tunnels. Constructed between 1838 to 41, it provides a direct line between Leeds and Manchester. At the time it was built, it was also the longest railway tunnel in the world, just over a mile long, and was designed by Thomas Longridge Gooch. The tunnel cost around £250,000 to build back in the 1830s, which in today's money is obviously a lot more, roughly around 35 million. Unfortunately, 41 workers lost their lives during its construction. So today we're walking over the top of Summit Tunnel from the Littleborough side, which is the south portal that we've just seen the entrance to the tunnel, across the top. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see the exit at the Todmorden side, but we will find roughly, there's said to be 14 of these air shafts. I'm not sure how many are still existing. Obviously, I presume most of them will still be here, seeing as the tunnel is still here. But they also played a big part in our story today. Despite the loss of life over its construction, there were very rarely any incidents concerned with the tunnel itself for the best part of 150 years, until on the 20th of December 1984, at 5:50 in the morning, a goods train caught fire whilst passing through the tunnel. It was carrying 1 million litres of 4-star petrol in 13 tankers. The train entered the tunnel from the Todmorden side at about 40 miles per hour. The train got a third of the way through the tunnel, but then derailed. It fell on its side, and some of the petrol from one of the tankers leaked into the tunnel and very quickly ignited. The 3 train crew members fled the tunnel quickly to the Littleborough side and raised the alarm. Soon, the Greater Manchester and West Yorkshire Fire Brigade were on the scene. However, at 9:40, the heat caused one of the other tankers to explode. It created so much heat the tankers began to melt, and even some of the bricks inside the tunnel turned to glass. The fire crews were quickly pulled out. It could have been a disaster, but they were saved by the fires leaping up out of the ventilation shafts instead. So most of the ventilation shafts looked like this. Very dramatic scenes of fire blasting out of the top of each of them across the hilltop. To tackle the fire, foam had to be poured into the shafts. During this time, 200 people were evacuated from Walsden. It took a few days, but eventually the fire was declared out at 6:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve 1984. During this time as well, the people of Littleborough, Rochdale and Todmorden were even told not to smoke near the rivers due to the petrol having seeped down into the valley and into them. The tunnel eventually reopened to the public on the 19th of August 1985. So I've already lost count of how many I've found. What's this, number 5 or 6, something like that. Gosh, it goes quite a big, oh, it's a big one. Wow, that's the biggest one so far. Obviously you can't just climb up and get onto the top of these despite what it looks like. for safety reasons. So our journey over the tunnel brings us into a large quarry. So unfortunately, I don't know the name of this quarry, but it is intriguing me because it's huge, absolutely huge. I'm not sure if it was involved in any way with the building of Summit Tunnel, whether it was the rock that was bored out of the tunnel thrown up here, because of course the tunnel itself is 6 layers of bricks long. Yeah, I think this is one to come back and explore and see what's here. But if you know the name of it, do let me know. Okay, this video is suddenly about to take a little twist because up on that rock there, I think I can see a Viking face, like the ones we've been searching for over the last 2 or 3 years. If it is, that'll make our 7th Viking find. So I've got to do this, guys. I'm sorry, a bit of a disruption to the Summit Tunnel video, but let's see if we can get up there safely. Can I find a route across this? I don't know what it looks like on the video, but it is very steep. So, this is a bit insane. Walking on top of a quarry. Jeez. I hope it's not a trick of my mind. It is our next Viking face. Of course, what I haven't thought is how I get down. Actually, down is not a problem, is it? Hopefully. So interestingly, there are certainly some things carved onto the rocks here at this side. Let's try and get a bit nearer. And what is it? Oh wow. Jeez. Okay. So, not Viking faces after all, but very, very cool carvings indeed. They're awesome. Definitely worth the climb to see those. Those are great. But nothing to do with the summit fire. I do apologise. But my appetite has been satisfied for climbing, finding carvings. Okay, I've survived the quarry. Apologies for going off track, but there's no way I could resist checking if that was a Viking. But I shall focus and look straight ahead. See if we can find the next ventilation shaft. Hopefully. So I do have a feeling we've missed some somewhere, but when I thought they may well be down there, there's one just over here. So this one's obviously currently undergoing some repairs. So thankfully there were no casualties in the Summit Fire Tunnel, and 5 months later the line reopened again to passengers. 25 years after that though, there was one more incident on this line, and despite the fact the ventilation shafts had saved the lives of the firefighters, on this occasion they created the problem. December 2010, it was a particularly cold winter, and on the 28th a sheet of ice had formed on top of one of the ventilation shafts, and as the sun came out that day and melted the ice, the block of ice fell down onto the track below, just at the time a train entered the tunnel. The train hit the ice and derailed, but unlike the previous occasion, the train stayed upright and kind of leant against the wall, and this time the track was closed for 3 days. Hope you've enjoyed our walk over the top of Summit Tunnel. Now before we finish, anybody who in the 1980s and 90s visited what was then the National Museum of Photography and Film and Television, now the National Science and Media Museum in Bradford, may well remember the newsreader, where you could sit in front of a green screen and read the news, and the news that you read was about the Summit Fire Tunnel. Summit Tunnel fire even. It's so warm. I'm amazed anything's come out of this today. But do you remember that newsreader? Did you read out the news about the fire? Let me know. Okay guys, we'll see you very soon for the next video. Keep safe, take care. See you soon.